Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video I will show you guys how to make a simple shotgun. And so I have my shotgun here. We got a little GUI, and when we shoot we have a flash, we have a simple animation, and it reloads one at a time, so it's pretty cool. And we also have a custom icon. I'll share the IDs of those icons with you guys. So anyways, let's begin. So I'm just going to just delete the gun that I just made, because we're just gonna make one from scratch. And so the first thing I'd want to get is the animations. Now you guys probably have a gun holding animation, but I'm gonna use the ones supplied by Roblox. So I'm just gonna get the R15 soldiers and then use their animation. So yeah, just to get the animation really quick, we have the soldier, and then this is the animations for the soldier. So I'm just gonna steal that from them. Let me make this bigger. Alright, and then yeah, just to delete that. So yeah, we have the animations. I just stole it from these soldiers, R15 soldiers. Artho is still like the same thing as R15. So yeah, and then this is our attack animation, then our attack idle. I'll just call this idle just to make it more simple. And next we want to get our mesh. So we want to get a shotgun mesh, a very simple one. We'll do shotgun, and we'll get this one. We'll get this one right here. So yeah, that's a pretty good size. Okay, so yeah, this is the shotgun we're gonna use. Cache shadow's on. Let's color this black. So simply I'm just gonna get the gun set. So we have to name it handle, because any tool that we want to make has to be named handle. We have our two animations. Let's put that inside of our handle. So we just took the soldier animations and we put inside of our handle mesh that we took from the toolbox. So let's just change the material as well. I might do marble. Oh, marble is kind of good. Alright, so I'll do marble to make it look kind of raspy. And anchoring is off. Can't touch. Yeah, can't touch is true. Can't collide is off, because we don't want to bang into a wall and like have the gun in our way. So we'll turn off can't collide. And so yeah, the next thing we want to get is our fire point. So this is where our flashing is going to occur and where our bullets are going to come out of. So this is just going to be a very an invisible part. So we have to make this a small invisible part. So we have to make this size. It's the size like point. Oh, actually, I should change my incrementation. I'll make this 0.25. So I'm going to make a small little cube. Okay, so a small little cube. Just like that. Okay, so this is our fire point. And I'm going to put this at the tip of the gun. And this is basically going to hold our flashing and our light and all that. So just basically our flashing. And this is where the bullets are going to come out, like the position. We're basically going to get the position of this part to know where the bullets are going to shoot out of. So we're going to call this fire point. Okay, pretty solid name. And then cache shadow off, can't collide off, can't touch off. Right, make it pretty much like nothing, and then transparency 0. So yeah, it's an invisible part. I'll put this right at the tip of the gun, so where you'd want the bullets to come out of. Oops. Can't change my incrementation because I gotta get pretty close. Alright, and right here. So yeah, this is where the bullets would come out of, around there. And we want to get our particles. So we want to get the particles. This is going to be the not a part. Particle. There you go. So we need to get particles. And okay, that's a lot of particles. That's not what we want. And yeah, we have to change a couple settings. But I have a texture ID. Okay, and I just copied and pasted it. And that's basically the texture I'm going to use for the flashing. And you guys just want, if you guys want to use the same flashing as I'm going to use, just copy these numbers right here, these numbers, and then press enter, and then automatically these numbers are gonna just like this is gonna fill in the www if you just type in the numbers. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, if you just type in these numbers, you'll get the flashing. And let's call this flashing, just like that. And we want to make this orange, right? Because it's like a flashing gun, right? And it's looking still weird because we don't have the light emission. There you go. That's looking better. It's a bit too bright. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And we're just gonna make the size up to 0.5, just so like it's a small, and then we have to change the height so the height's not like oh, emission direction. So let's just do, no, bottom's down, front, oh, front is that way. So we're just gonna turn this from the front. So yeah, I'm just gonna make this look forward pretty much. 45. You guys don't have to copy everything I do, but like I'm just customizing the flash. So yeah, I'm just gonna basically be customizing the flash, and whatever flash you use, just play around with the variables and all that, and then you'll get used to like what flash you'd want. You wouldn't want it too flashy. I think this is a good, yeah, that's pretty nice. And I'll make the height, the rate, no, the rate's like how much is gonna shoot out. I want that at 100. Okay. And the lifetime, okay, this is where I change the amount. Okay, that's 0. I'll do 0.1. Alright, there you go. That's a good flash. It might be a bit too big. We'll make this a tiny bit smaller. There you go. That is our flash right there. When we shoot the gun, this is gonna start playing. And we'll turn this enabling off. So yeah, that's gonna be our shooting. I just played around with the values and all that. Alright, that's pretty cool. And also we want our light. So we're gonna get a light so it has like a little light that's gonna shoot. So we have a point light. Okay, and we want to make this orange because it's like a, actually maybe yellow. Yeah, like yellow because it's like light. And let's make this stronger. Yeah, so it's gonna be like that. So when you shoot the gun, the flash is gonna go off. Maybe I can make it orange. No, orange is too dark. So this, yeah, this is gonna be the flash. I mean the light. The light. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have our light, we have our flash. Let's just disable both of these. And let's begin, well, we have to make this into a tool now. So we have our flash, we have our fire point. Let's put this inside of the handle. And we're going to put a weld constraint. So this weld constraint is just going to hold that part into place. And this is how you hold parts together without anchoring them. So we're going to call this just constraint. And we're just going to select part 0, which is just like any part you want to connect. And then the part we want to connect it to, which is fire point. So part 0 is handle, part 1 is fire point, or it could be the other way around, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is just gonna hold this to that. And to make this massless, so this doesn't have any weight, I'm just gonna tick this off, this little thing called massless, just for the fire point. Yeah, just for the fire point, I'm gonna tick that on, so it has no weight. And yeah, we have our handle finished, the fire point, and now let's get a tool. So let's get our little tool. This is gonna hold the handle, so we have our handle inside of it. And something I want you guys to get is a plugin, and this plugin is very important just to adjust the handle or the way your gun is going to be held, because we don't know, like when we play the game, our handle is going to be very weird with our arm. We don't know if we're going to hold the gun up in the sky or any of that, so we want to hold it straight. We want to hold our gun correctly, so we use like a plugin called Handle Tool Editor. So in the toolbox, go to plugins, and then actually it's probably tool grip editor, that's what it's called, but it's 5 Robux, but there's probably more for free. I wouldn't just install random ones called tool grip editor because there could be a virus, but I would look for something that's like this. I didn't buy this one, I bought some other one that was like for free. I just found it and it had a lot of likes, so just find one that has a lot of likes and it's like a tool grip editor, unless if you want to pay like 5 Robux for this one by the Clone Trooper guy. And yeah, with this tool grip editor, where is the tool grip editor? Right here. It's by Ego Moose. Actually, if I search up his name, that wouldn't work. Yeah, I'm using Ego Moose's tool grip editor. But if you guys somehow find that, you could just add that into your thing. But I'm just gonna use this to edit my grip. So yeah, if I spawned in, this is basically what the gun's gonna look like. So I'm gonna press Z to change the direction, and I just want to move it so it faces the correct direction of what I'm gonna hold. And we're gonna apply the animation as well, so we're gonna have to adjust it even more. But for now, we're just gonna put it like this, based off of our knowledge, like that. I'm gonna move this right there. There you go. That looks pretty good. For our tool, we have our hand on the gun. It looks really, it looks really, it doesn't look good. Okay, don't make fun of me, man. Okay, it doesn't look bad. It's just that's not how you hold a shotgun. Okay, so yeah, let's just close this out. And that's automatically gonna adjust. What it's doing is it's basically just changing the grip. Except it didn't change the grip. Well, let me check this again. Why didn't it change the grip? Okay, maybe it did. That's weird. It's supposed to change these values right here, because that's the appearance for the... Maybe it doesn't. Never mind. So yeah, we have our tool. I just adjusted it using that plugin to change the direction of the gun. And oh, there it is. Now it changed the grip. That's what it does. It just changes these values based on what you put it inside of the tool grip editor. So now it's like weird points and all that. So now we're gonna actually add a script in here so we can actually start scripting. And we're gonna add a local script and then a normal script. And I forgot to name the tool, so we'll name this tool shotgun. Okay, just like that. I don't know what kind of shotgun this is, but it's a shotgun. And on the local, we'll call this LocalSide. LocalSide, and then we'll call this other one ServerSide. So we're just gonna name these scripts ServerSide, LocalSide. So on the local side, this is where we're gonna get our mouse position. And yeah, this is specifically just to get our mouse position, but we're gonna do other things in here as well. So let's get the tool equals script.parent. So parent is the tool right there. We're gonna get the local handle equals tool wait for child handle, just like that, because we're waiting for the handle, because it might not be there in time, so we have to wait for it. Okay, and then we also want to get the, well, something else we have to add is a remote function, because this is how we're going to get our mouse. So this remote function right here, and we'll call this mouse lock. Okay, mouse lock. And so that's going to get our mouse position. This is what's going to cause it to happen. And well, we have to identify this. Local mouse lock equals tool wait for child mouse lock, just like that. So we waited for the mouse lock, and then the next thing we want to get is local run service equals game get service run service. And there must be other things we need, but I don't remember it right now, but we'll come up with it over time. So let's just create a local function. This is gonna be unequip. Okay, this is gonna be the unequip function. And we have the fire point. Also, we need to get the. Oh wait, no, we don't need to get the fire point because this is the local side. So we have the onEquip function, and we do tool dot equipped equals connect onEquip, just like that. So this is gonna detect when we equip the gun, and we want to play our animations. So we need to get our animations. We'll do right here, local attack anim, and then local idle anim, just like that. And we'll set that to nothing, so pretty much nothing. And let me zoom this in, this might help you guys out. So we'll set these to nothing, and then over here we're gonna set it to something so it's gonna stop erroring, because that's the reason why it's still erroring. There you go. And then we do attack anim equals humanoid. So we have to get our characters humanoid. That's what I forgot. So we have to get our humanoid. And how we do that, we have to get our player. Local player equals game.players.local player. Then we do local character equals player.character, or player.character added equals weight. So we got a character. This is how we get our character on the local side. There's a better way of doing this, but I'll do it like the old-fashioned way by getting the player and then the character. And then we do local humanoid equals character, not catalog, okay, character, wait for child, humanoid, just like that. So we wait for the humanoid, and then we do humanoid load animation. Okay, just like that, load animation. And then we type in script. Actually no, we do handle, because we want to get our attack animation. Handle, wait for child, attack animation. So yeah, we're basically gonna load in the animations by just requiring the animation. This is the way to do it. We do humanoid load animation semicolon, and then we pass in the animation that we want to do, which is handle, wait for child, attack animation, which is this guy right here. And we want to do that with the other one as well. We want to do idle anim equals humanoid load animation, and then we do handle, wait for child, idle animation, just like that. So we have our idle animation with a D, humanoid, and after we do that, we just say idle anim equals play, or semicolon play. So that's gonna make our holding animation play. And the next thing we want to do is create our function. And so we made our onEquip function, so we can just say onEquip, just a little note right there. And so the next thing we want to create is the unequip function. And this is very important, so we detect when we unequip our tool, so we can stop the animation that holds our weapon, right? We don't want to keep on playing that animation. So unequip, just like that. And then we're going to stop our animation. So we unequip our holding animation as we unequip the tool. Okay, so stop that, and then we just do connect it so it actually works. Dot unequipped equals connect on unequipped. So yeah, that's going to detect when we unequip a weapon. And the next thing we want to do is create the on server mouse. Okay, so basically use the remote function. So over here we are going to get the mouse, well, send mouse. That is what we're going to do. We're going to send the mouse. And so how we do this is we do function mouse lock dot on client invoke. Okay, just like that, and then press enter. And so this end is going to appear, and in here, this is where we're going to return the mouse. So we need a variable for the mouse. I could just put it right here, local mouse equals player get mouse, just like that. So we got our mouse, and we just do, right here we do return mouse dot hit dot position. So this is going to return, the position is going to return to the server side. So when we call this remote function is going to run through this and then return the mouse hit position to the server side when we call the remote on the server. So right now this is just how we send the mouse. So this is going to send the mouse, and the next thing we want to create is the recoil, because we're going to add the gun recoil right inside of this. We're going to just do gun recoil right here. And so how we do this is we have to create a coroutine.wrap, and basically this is just a spawning a new thread, so we don't yield our thread. So yeah, coroutine.wrap, just like this. Make sure you add the 2 parentheses or else it won't work. So make sure these 2 parentheses are at the end of it. And so over here, this is gonna be the gun recoil, so we have to make our local function to play the recoiling, just like that. And yeah, I'm gonna just add a note, play recoil. So this is our play recoil function. Okay, and then we'll get the local total speed, and the total speed is just first we have to make the variables for our recoil. I went ahead of myself there. So we have to get a couple variables, and the first variable we'll need is the recoil height. Okay, and we'll say once local recoil time 0.1, local distance shake equals 1, local speed shake equals 20, and then we have the local increment time equals 0.25. So these are our variables that will change our recoiling. Okay, so we'll add a note there. We'll say, but over here, the increment time, it only goes from 0 to 1. Okay, that's a note that you have to remember, 0 to 1, because this is lerping, and lerping makes it from 0 to 1. So these are our variables for recoiling. So I'll add a note right here, recoiling variables. Okay, so if you ever want to change the recoiling, just change these variables, and automatically that will readjust the recoiling effect. And so now we can actually make our local total speed. So we just do speed shake times the tick, and tick is just a number counting up, and that's just a great way to get a random number. So that is what tick does. It's a really cool thing. And the next thing we want to get is local bobble x equals math.cos, and then we do total speed times distance shake, and then we do local bobble y equals math.absolute math.sine total speed, and then outside of all of that we'll just multiply it by the distance shake. So all of this is gonna make our bouncing recoil effect. So this is gonna make bouncy bouncy shaking, and these are the variables that we're going to use for that. And now we're going to actually make the recoil. So we're going to over here make recoil, and so how we do this is we need the camera. Okay, we need to require the player's camera, and so how we do this, we'll put it right under run service. We'll do local camera equals workspace dot current camera, just like that. So that's how we get the camera from the player. And then we do camera.cFrame equals camera.cFrame, and then lerp. Lerping makes it pretty smooth, so it's a really cool thing if you know what lerping is. Definitely recommend that you guys learn about lerping. Okay, and then camera.cFrame times camera, well no, not camera, times cFrame times CFrame, and then we do bobble X, and then bobble Y, and then 0, because 0 is our Z axis, and it's a 2D screen, so that wouldn't work. So yeah, over here we get the camera CFrame, and we multiply it by the CFrame.new, and this is gonna make our shaking screen. But now we want to make it so when we shoot our gun, our camera spikes up. So right now we're gonna make it so our camera spikes up, and so we multiply again, and then we do CFrame.angles, which is orientation, and then we do math.rad, which just converts radians to degrees, and then in here we do recoil height. Okay, and we did 1 degree, so it's just gonna go a tiny bit up, and so yeah, this is just gonna go up by 1 because that's what we did for recoil height, 1. So, and then we put 0 0. So yeah, this is gonna make our camera spike up. So if you do not want that, I just delete this right here. Keep the last parenthesis because that's to close the lerping. And so at the end of everything, we want to add another comma and then do increment time. Okay, and that's the smoothness of lerping, and that just goes right before the last parentheses. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And now actually let's add notes. Let's just say that this makes the smoothness. This basically is the smoothness, but it's just the incrementation, and it goes from 0 to 1. So if we made it 1, it would be really fast, and you can't really see the frames increment, so that's why I did 0.25. If this was at 0, then this wouldn't do anything, so I'll keep it at 0.25. And then shaking, I'll add shaking, and then recoil. I'll just do recoil right here. Recoil, shaking, smoothness, and then play recoil, make the recoil. And now we're gonna do another function, local function, recover recoil. And this is gonna just make it so after our recoil spikes up, it goes back down. So this is our recover recoil function. And so what we do is just do camera.cframe equals camera.cframe, then lerp, and then we do camera.cframe times cframe.angles, and then over here we do math.rad, convert it from radians to degrees. Same thing, we do recoil height, but instead of doing recoil height, we do negative recoil height. Okay, because we want it to go back down, and just like that. So we want it to go back down, so we do negative recoil height. Okay, and this is just gonna make it so once our gun shoots up, we get the recoil goes up. This makes it go back down, so we cover the recoil. And now we're gonna actually connect it to our coroutine.wrap, because this is a new thread and it has nothing in it. So now we're gonna connect it. And so what we do here is we just do run service.render stepped equals connect play recoil. So that just connects our play recoil function, and we want to create a connection. And so right over here, I'll create 2 nil variables, connection and then 2 connection. So these are non-existent variables, so they're gonna error for now, but once we set it to something like the attack anim, it will not error anymore. So we're gonna set the connection to this. So we're gonna do connection equals that run service dot render stepped semicolon connect play recoil. And now we have to do wait recoil time, because we have 0.1 as our time, so it's a very fast recoil. And then we do connection disconnect, so it stops the run service. And then now we have to do the recovery method, so we do 2 connection equals run service dot render stepped equals connect recover recoil, just like that. And then we do wait recoil time, and then to connection equals disconnect, or semicolon disconnect. So yeah, let me just put a quick note here, play recoil, and then over here recover recoil, so it goes back down after the recoil spikes up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's our recover. And what else do we need? And I think that's all we need for the local side. So we have everything that we need from the local side. We get the mouse. Oh, and we also need the icons. Okay, the icons are very important. So we don't have anything for our mouse icon. So if we played the game, this wouldn't work because we didn't do anything on the server side. But if we played the game, there would be nothing for our icon. So we have to get a couple of icons. Okay, and I'll make a few variables for that. So the first variable I want to make is local idle icon. So this is the normal gun icon, and we'll do quotation marks. Okay, and inside of this might be a little bit tedious, but we have to type in the URL. So we do http semicolon -- www.roblox.com, and then we do -asset $ID equals, and then that is gonna be our connector for our IDs. So we're just gonna duplicate this 2 more times. So let's copy this, and then we're gonna duplicate that again, duplicate it again, because we have other icon types that we want to name. And so over here we want to add the idle icon numbers, and so it's 107150909. And so if the icon doesn't change, that means you must have typed something wrong, and that's okay. You just have to go back and see if it looks exactly like this. Okay, and that's the numbers for the ID. And the next icon that we want is the firing icon. So the firing icon ID is going to be 107151042. Okay, so that's our firing icon. And then the final icon is the reloading icon, or let's just do reload icon. So the reload icon is 107151176. Okay, so I just wrote this down, but I basically just copied it back in. So these are the icons. So these are the mouse icons. Okay, and now we have to actually set our mouse icon to something. So we want to create a new variable right next to the to connection. We'll call this variable my mouse. Okay, and this is just going to be the mouse, but it's going to change based off of the weapons. So it's basically the weapons mouse. The weapons mouse. This is basically what my mouse is, the weapons mouse. So over here on equip, we'll do my mouse equals mouse. Okay, so we set my mouse to the player's mouse, and now we do and now we have to create a new function. And so the local function is going to be called update icon, and so inside of this is going to be a new value. Okay, and something we need to make is a number variable. So inside of server side, we're going to do a number value, and this is going to indicate our icon. I'll call this icon. Okay, and then this is just going to be to number 1. Okay, I'll set the value to 1. And so with this mouse icon, we have to get the icon. And how we require the icon, we'll do it right here. Local icon equals script wait for child icon. So we're just waiting for the icon inside. And then over here, we're going to do icon.changed equals connect update icon. So yeah, this is going to detect when the icon is changed in any way. So when we type in a new value, this is going to run. This function is going to run. So every time this icon is changed, it's gonna run this function. So that's pretty cool. So this function is just going to be set to 1 because that's the icon value that we want. So we set this to 1, and on change, we want to detect the new value. So the new value, if new value equals 1, because we don't know if it does, then we want to make the mouse icon, the my mouse dot icon equals idle icon. Okay, so we're just setting the icon's ID to the idle icon's ID, and then we do else if new value equals 2, then my mouse dot icon equals firing icon, and then the final one, else if new value equals 3, then my mouse dot icon equals reload icon. Okay, and automatically new value is detected from the dot change. So when we run this function, this is automatically going to be created from the dot changed connection. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So this is going to be created from the connection. And let's add a note here. We'll say detect icon when icon wants to be changed. Detect when icon wants to be changed, so run this function. So that's what it basically does. And over here we want to run it for the first time because this only detects it when it's changed. So when we equip the gun, we want to equip the icon. So what we do here is we do update icon, and then we type in 1 because that is automatically this. We'll keep that at 1 as well. So update icon, and then we put 1. So it's going to play the idle icon right away when we equip our gun. Okay. And yeah, I think that's everything we need to do on the local side. Now we're going to hop in on the server side, and this is how we're going to make the bullet. So local server side, server side, and then over here we want to get the local tool equals script.parent, then the local handle equals tool, wait for child handle, and then the mouse lock, because we want to get our mouse some way, so this is the best way to do it. And no, not handle, we want to get the tool and then wait for child mouse lock. So this is going to get our mouse position. And so now I found a few errors, okay, that I just bumped into. And so a couple of errors, I just went on the local side, and a couple of things we have to fix. Camera.cFrame right here, we have to set the another parameter, and we put increment time. Okay, so I forgot to add that in. Another thing we need to fix is the update icon function. We have to put it below our calling so we don't get a nil value. Okay, so we put it just below this so it doesn't error. Okay, we call the update icon just before this, so that is really important. And another thing I ran into was this: I need to remove 1, okay, or else this is also gonna error. So yeah, those were a couple errors I just noticed, and I hope that wasn't confusing. Just remove one of the ones in here, because you're gonna get like an ID error. Okay, just like that. So now we can go back on the server side. The local side is perfected now. We can close that out. And the next thing we want to get is the flashing and then the light. So we need to get the fire point, and we do handle.fire point. Okay, so now we have the fire point, then we get the flashing equals handle.flashing, and then we do local light equals handle dot light. Okay, now we have to make a settings. Okay, so this is gonna be basically our bullet settings, so it's gonna be pretty cool. This is gonna make up all of our settings for the bullet, so it's gonna be pretty cool. And so we do base shot, okay, equals instance dot new part, and then we do base shot dot brick color, because we want to set it to a certain color. We do brick color dot new, let's say gray. Okay, so we want mid gray, and yeah, that's basically what a bullet color would be, right? Because it's like metal. And then we do base shot dot material equals enum dot material dot metal, because it's like a bullet. And then we do base shot dot shape equals enum dot shape dot part type dot ball. Okay, so we're gonna make it into a ball shape. And then base shot dot size equals vector3 dot new 0.2, so that's our bullet size, 0.2. Okay, and then we do base shot dot the top surface, because we want to make it smooth. Okay, so it doesn't have any studs on it. So we do enum dot surface type dot smooth. Okay, and then we do base shot dot bottom surface equals enum dot surface type dot smooth as well. And we made the color, we made the size, and let's just make sure that we have everything. And also custom physical properties, that is also something we can do. And then we do physical properties dot new 0000 5 times. Okay, so this is just gonna make it so it's much more better for our system. Custom physical properties 000. And let me just zoom this in. I just noticed I zoomed out before, so now it's zoomed in. That's cool. And now we have the bullets all complete. And the next thing we want to make is our local function to shoot. And this is gonna actually make it so we actually are able to shoot our bullet. What I do here, this is to shoot. And so what we need to get is the mouse position. And we use the event. Okay, we have a remote function. And this is the this is how we're gonna get the mouse position, because we did that on the local side. Okay, so now we have to call it, and we do mouse lock invoke client. Okay, and then we need to get the player. So the only way to do this is to do unequip to get the player. So over here we do local function unequip. So we have to make another unequip on the server side. And then we do here tool dot equipped use connect on equip. And we need two variables to identify who we are. And so we do local my player and then my character. So this is just going to be equal to nothing. And over here we're going to equal it to something, and so we do my character equals tool dot parent. So when we equip it, we identify the character because we know that it's the parent of the tool. Okay, and we know that because we're equipping the tool, so we know that this is going to be the parent. My character is going to be the parent of the tool. And then we do my player equals game dot players get player from character, and then inside of this brackets we do my character. So that is how we get the player on the local on the server side. The server side. And now we can actually get the mouse position from the local side. And then what we do is we just type in my player inside of the parentheses. And so now we have the mouse position on the server side. And now we make the shot C-frame. And the shot C-frame is basically the direction we want the bullet to travel. And so we do C-frame.new. Then we get the firing point position because that's our spawn position. We do fire point dot position, and then comma our mouse position, because that's where we want that's the direction we want the bullet to travel, and we do mouse position. And then also we need to multiply this again, and basically everything after this is going to be the spread. So if I never added this, okay, if it was left like this, then the bullet is going to travel straight. So it's just going to be perfect. It's going to be perfectly accurate if it was like this, okay? So we don't want that because it's a shotgun, okay? It's not like it's not a sniper. If it was a sniper, then we'd want to just keep it like this. But because it's a shotgun, we want to make a spreading capability. And how we do that is CFrame.angles, and then we do math.random, so we get a random direction, okay, and then we multiply it by the spread, and we don't have spread equal to anything, so now we have to make spread the variable, and we'll call this gun settings, okay, we'll make it gun settings right here, and then we'll do spread, so the spread is going to be 0.175, so this is the amount of spread for each bullet away from each other. So the spread's 0.175. You can play around with the values on your own time. It would be pretty cool. And now we have the spread identified, and we have to just copy this 3 times. So math.random times spread again, and then we do comma again, math.random times spread. So 3 times inside of the parentheses times spread. There you go. And we put that all inside of the parentheses inside of CFrame.angles for the X, Y, and Z. Okay. And now we actually got a shot CFrame, and right above it we'll do for I equals 1, and then the amount do, and then we indent that. I need to get the line at the bottom, and then we do end. Okay, so this is gonna make it so it runs multiple times. Okay, so the amount, we have to make the amount variable, local amount, and this is gonna be the amount of pellets for each shot. So I want it so when I shoot my gun, there's gonna be 12 pellets that's gonna shoot out of my gun. So that would make it so 12 pellets come out of my gun. So this is gonna run by 12 times. Okay, and so over here we want to actually create our bullet, and how we do this is we do local bullet equals base shot, because that's our settings, equals clone. So we clone the base shot because we only have one base shot, so we have to clone it, and now we have a new bullet. And so this is going to be bullet.cframe is going to be the shot CFrame. So that's going to create the position where we want it to spawn, right on the shot CFrame. Okay, and then we do bullet dot actually we do body velocity. So local body velocity equals instance.new body velocity, and so this is gonna make it so our bullet flies, fly bullet. Okay, so this is gonna make it so our bullet actually flies, and so we'll just call this body velocity dot name, because we want to name it. We'll call this fly bullet. Okay, just exactly like we named it, fly bullet. Then we do body velocity dot velocity. So this is gonna actually make it so we can actually fly. The bullet actually flies to the direction, and then we do shot CFrame dot look vector times the speed. So we want the speed of the bullet right here, and we need to make a new variable for that, and the local speed. So the speed of the bullet is going to be, let's say, 125. So that's going to be pretty fast. You can definitely mess around with the values, and that's going to be the speed of the bullet. Now we actually have our bullet, and the next thing we want to make is a table. So right above this we'll make a bullets table. Okay, so we can spawn this in all at once, and so this is really important because it might be a little bit blurry for you guys, but you have to make it with curly brackets, okay, curly brackets, not with normal brackets, curly brackets for any table. So now we have our table, and right over here we're going to insert the bullet into our new table, our empty table. So we do table.insert bullets table, and then we insert the bullet inside of our new table. So we got an empty table and we put the bullet inside of that table. So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. And now we're gonna actually spawn in our bullet. And so we do table dot for each. And so we need the table, so the bullets table. And then we also need the function. So we're gonna make a new function right here. And we're gonna move this parentheses and then put end. And then inside of these parameters, we get the index, and then we get the bullet itself. Okay, and over here, we do bullet dot parent equals workspace. Okay, so this is gonna spawn the bullet all at once. So this is gonna make it so we spawn the bullets all at once. So we could add a note here, spawn bullets all at once. And another thing I just noticed, we forgot to parent the body velocity to the bullet. So we do body velocity dot parent equals bullet. Okay, so that's important, so it actually gets inside of our bullet. Okay, and then we insert it into our table. So the bullet's all prepared inside of this for loop. Okay, so this is gonna loop pretty much 12 times. So it's gonna be a really fast loop. It's gonna do it rapidly, and then it's gonna insert it into the table. Then once the loop ends, we want to spawn all the bullets at once. So we call the table function, and then we parent each bullet into the workspace at the same time. So yeah, this is definitely gonna work. We also want to add a debounce, and the debounce is basically gonna make it so we can't shoot multiple times. Okay, so right here, right above, we'll make a local debounce. Local debounce equals false. Okay, then over here we'll do if debounce, then return end. Okay, so that makes it so if it's true, then return it. So that means that this won't run. Okay, so all of this won't run if this is going to return true. Okay, so now we set it to true because we want it to make it so we can't run it multiple times. And then right at the bottom of the script, we do debounce equals false. Okay, so now the debounce is false. And now we have the debounce to be false. Now we're going to make our icon change. So in order to make our icon change, we need to get the icon inside of our script. So right here we'll do local icon equals script, wait for child icon. So yeah, we have to update our icon. This is the only way to do it. And actually, this just made me remember that there was another error that I have to check out. The icon on the local side, okay? So I just ran into this one as well, and I just forgot to fix it. So we have this icon variable in the local side, and this has to actually be, we'll remove this. This actually has to be tool dot wait for child server side, okay, dot icon. Okay, so I did a little mistake in there, and that actually gets our icon. Okay, tool wait for child server side and then dot icon. So that's on the local side. I just remembered that that was a new error. Now we have our icon on the server side. Okay, so we have our icon on the server side, and we're actually going to set the value to a new value. So at the bottom, right next to debounce equals false, we want to make it so our value equals 1. So that makes it so it's our idle value. So we set it to idle once all of this runs by. And so right above this, right in here, we do icon dot value equals 2. Okay, so we want our icon dot value to be 2. So our icon 2 would be our shooting icon, okay? And then the final icon is going to be our reloading icon, so number 3. And when we look here, our number 3 is our reloading icon. Okay, so when we set the value to 3. And right here we'll make an if statement if count, okay, is greater than or equal to magazine. Okay, so we're gonna make new variables here. Okay, so count and magazine is nil because we never made a variable for those. And so right over here we're gonna actually make our count. So local count equals 0. Okay, so that means that the game doesn't know how much times we shot. Okay, and then over here we do count plus equals 1. Okay, so this makes it so the count's gonna count up every time. So it's gonna calculate how much times we've actually shot our gun. So every time we shoot our gun, this is gonna count up. And so what it's gonna do here is it's gonna say, oh, we shot 4 times because we clicked 4 times, and this ran by 4 times. So now check if it's greater than our magazine. Okay, so our magazine, we didn't set it to anything, but over here we're going to set our magazine to 4. So local magazine equals 4. So that will make it so we only are allowed to shoot 4 times. Okay, so now we're only allowed to shoot 4 times. Oh, the count is greater than 4. Okay, that means we shot 4 times. Now we're gonna reload. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now we're gonna make it so we have to wait to reload. And what we do here is we need to make a new value for that. So we do local reload, and the reloading time would be 4 seconds as well. And so what we do here is we do reload. So that makes it so once we shoot 4 times, we're gonna reload our gun. Else, okay, this makes it so we have to wait our fire rate. So we don't have a fire rate for this gun, but we're gonna make it so there's a little delay between each shot. Okay, so that's gonna be our fire rate. So we're gonna make a new variable, and this is gonna be fire rate. So the delay between each shot, that is what a fire rate is. So we'll make it 0.5. Okay, so we're only allowed to shoot every 0.5 seconds. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is actually change our icon. So we do icon.value equals 3. So that makes it so it makes a reloading icon. And then the next thing we want to do is reset our count. Okay, so our count is still set to a higher number, so we have to make it back to 0. Okay, so we make the count back to 0 so it resets our current count of the amount of times we shot. Okay, since this is going to keep increasing by 1 every time we shoot our gun. Okay, so now I think that is pretty much it. We also need to connect the function. So right over here we do tool.activated equals connect shoot. Okay, so now we got everything done. Right here we'll put a little note, reload or fire rate. Okay, so this is just going to tell if we have to reload or if we have a fire rate that we have to wait. Okay, and that is pretty much it. Just going to make sure I have nothing wrong, and let's run the game to make sure that everything works. So now we're going to close that out. We're going to put the tool inside of our starter pack. Okay, so it's nice and comfy in the starter pack. And now we're going to run the game. Okay, so okay, so we identified the flashing is wrong. We forgot to say fire point. So fire point dot flashing, and then over here we also say fire point dot light. Okay, so that's a small little error that I did there. And yeah, let's go and run this again. So we have a shotgun, no errors, that's great. And now let's shoot it. There you go. And you can see that the bullets spawn in. And it looks a bit plain because we never added sound. But our screen shakes. Oh, and we forgot to add the flashing. So it looks a bit bland right now. But we're going to fix it up. Okay. And it also reloads as well. That's perfect. Our icon increases. So our icon gets larger every time we shoot. And so that means everything works. So now we have to add some details because we forgot to make the flashing occur. And also we have to make it so we have sound as well. We also want sound on our gun. And also the bullet, why is the bullet brown? Oh, actually no. The bullet is gray. Okay. And so yeah, let's fix this up. So we need to make, oh, and we also need to make it so our bullet freezes in place. So I'm gonna make oh, and we also have to make it so I forgot about that too. We have to make it so our bullet actually causes damage to us. Okay, so I didn't set it so if we shoot something it doesn't cause any damage. So what we have to do here, inside of the table for each, we do bullet.touched equals connect function. Okay, so this makes it so if we touch the bullet, this is gonna run, and so we get the hit, so that means we touched something. And then we do if not hit.parent, so we want to make sure that there's a parent for the hit, then return end. Or hit.name equals bullet. Okay, so we don't want to run this if it touches another bullet. Okay, so now let's add a note here, cause damage. So this is important, so the bullets actually cause damage to us. And so the next thing we want to do is get the enemy humanoid, okay, because we want to make sure that we shoot another person and we do damage to them. So we do enemy humanoid bullet, oh wait, no, not bullet, hit.parent wait, no, find first child humanoid. Okay, so we found a humanoid, hit.parent find first child humanoid. So if enemy humanoid, so if we found an enemy, and also we'll check its health, and enemy humanoid dot health, actually no, we don't have to do that, my bad. So if enemy humanoid, then we make it cause more damage. So enemy humanoid take damage, and so this is gonna be our damage. We make a variable and we don't know what the damage is gonna be, so we set the damage. And so the damage, I want the damage to be local damage equals 12. Okay, so that makes it so 12 damage a bullet that is touched. Okay, so this actually makes it so we take damage. Now there's other things we can do to make this more interesting. We also need to destroy the bullet, so bullet destroy. And outside of this we want to also use debris service, and actually we do game.debris add item the bullet and then the duration. Okay, so right here I'm gonna be adding a duration, and so this is gonna be basically the bullet's lifetime, because we don't want it so the bullet is gonna be flying in the sky forever. Okay, we want to destroy the bullet at some moment so it doesn't lag our game. So this is very important, so our bullet doesn't lag our game if they're being shot in the sky. So we have a duration period, and this is our lifetime. So basically local duration, and let's say we only have 6 seconds, so equals 6. Okay, so we only have that amount of time for each for the lifetime of the bullet. Okay, and if the bullet is touched, destroy the bullet. Okay, and then else, let's say if it doesn't shoot a person. Okay, so then we do else if hit.name, oh no, hit.canCollide. So that means if we hit a collidable object. So if we hit a collidable object, and also we'll check the transparency, and hit.transparency doesn't equal 1, so if it's not invisible as well, because we don't want to hit something invisible, then we want to freeze the bullet. And so this is going to be a new function, okay, bullet, and it's going to error because we never made the function, but this is going to basically make it so if we shoot the ground, the bullet's going to be stuck in the ground. So it's a nice little detail, and it really gives that vibrance. You know, you really need to make this function. It's an important function to really make the gun look amazing. So we want to freeze the bullet into the floor. Okay. So over here we're gonna make a local function freeze bullet. Okay, and then we pass in the bullet parameter because that's what we passed through. And so this is just gonna be freeze bullet in place, in floor. Okay. And so we need to look for the body velocity to change its value, so we make it stuck in the floor. So we have to look for the name fly bullet. So we do local find velocity, and then we just do bullet find first child fly bullet, okay, because that's our velocity name. And then we do if find velocity, then we change the value. So find velocity dot velocity equals equals vector3 dot new, and then we want to make it so the bullet gets stuck in the ground because it fell and it doesn't want to move anymore. So we do -5, okay, 0. Actually, let's make this like -2, so it's not that fast. Okay, so it's gonna be it's gonna get stuck in the ground pretty much, the find velocity. And so that makes it so we freeze the bullet in place. Now we want to disconnect it. So because we don't want to make it so if we touch the bullet while it's stuck on the floor, we still take damage, because that just wouldn't make sense. If we walk over a bullet, we shouldn't be able to take damage. Okay, so if the bullet's on the floor, we walk over it, we don't want to take damage, so that wouldn't make sense. So we have to use a disconnection. So we do connection and then brackets. Okay, we want to specify what kind of connection this is, and then inside of here we do index. Okay, so we use the number position for that. And so connections, let's do it with an S, connections bracket index equals bullet dot touched. So that sets it to that index. And so we have to make connections into a table. So right above here we do local connections equals curly brackets. So we have a connections table. And so connections bracket index, so we set the position of it inside of the table. So we specify what kind of connection it is. Then we do connections and then bracket index disconnect. Okay, so we want to disconnect it once we shoot the gun. Okay, so that disconnects it. And we also can do that above as well. You can do it over here. Connection index disconnect. Okay. And that makes our damage. We freeze the bullet into the floor. And now we have to actually add the sound. Okay. So we did everything, but we need to, oh, and also the flashing. I almost forgot about the flashing. So right here we're actually gonna make it so we make the gun flash. So gun flash. And so basically we just have to enable the flashing particles. So we do flashing.enabled equals true, and then the light.enabled equals true, and then we wait 0.1 seconds. So yeah, this is gonna delay our time by 0.1 seconds, but that's okay. That's like nothing. So then we do flashing.enabled equals false, and then light.enabled equals false. Okay, so that's gonna make our gun flash, and we want to disable it after 0.1 seconds, so it's really fast. And so that makes our flashing. Now we need to do the sound. But I guess we'll test it out so far without the sound, just for now. So we have a shotgun, and we're holding it. We still have to fix the direction of the gun placement, but that's okay. Oh, and it didn't work. Well, actually, it's the velocity change. So the velocity change wasn't good because it touched something. But here, let me see what I did wrong there. Let's go back into our shotgun. Oh, we forgot to set our name. So over here, baseshot.name equals bullet, because we made it so the dot touched only runs when it's named bullet, and I forgot to name it bullet. So baseshot.name equals bullet, because right over here, the dot touched event, where's the dot touched event? Right here, cause damage. We make it so if hit.name equals bullet, then return. So it ignores other bullets that it touches. Okay, so now it's gonna work. Okay, there you go. There you go, and look at that. It gets stuck in the floor. Or where did it go? Yeah, it gets stuck in the floor. It looks amazing. It looks like actual bullets. Really flashy, looks clean. We got the flashing. And now we just have to add this sound, and we're pretty much done, guys. That's pretty much it. And the GUI as well. I'll make a simple GUI with you guys. It looks pretty fresh, And we shoot 4 times, it reloads. We just have to add the sound so we can really make the touching, make it look really fresh. Okay. And we want to add a few sounds in there. Okay. We want a equip sound, so we want to make a sound thing, and so we're gonna add a few sounds. So we'll make a equip sound. We'll make an unequip sound. So when we unequip our gun, we'll make the shooting sound, and then we'll make the hit fade. Okay, so hit fade is gonna be the sound that basically makes it so once we touch another character, it plays a sound like you got hit. Okay, so if we shot a bullet at the character, it will make a blood sound. It will make it like you got shot. So it would make it like it hit your flesh. So basically this means that it's gonna hit your flesh. So it's like a flesh sound. It hits it and it's like bloody and all that. So that's kind of a cool sound we're going to add in there. And also the final sound we want to make is the reload sound. So we have 5 sounds, and now we just have to look for them. So the toolbox, we want to get a audio, and we'll look for a quick equip sound. Alright, I don't want to make it so they like scream or like do something like that's gonna be loud, because that wouldn't be cool. Alright, so we have the equip sound, and we'll use this for unequip as well. I'll just add something that makes it sound different. So we'll make it like pitch shift, so that changes the sound quality and all that. So pitch shift, I'll make it so it sounds more deeper, so it sounds better, like that. So this is our equip, and then this is unequip. So I guess that sounds a little bit different. And also we need the shooting, so we make a shoot sound. Pew. I guess we do shotgun sound. Okay. I guess that's a good sound. Wait, what? Let me listen to this one. That's not bad. Ooh, that could be our pump sound. So our reload sound. So I'm just gonna look for random sounds really quick. So there's our reload. Let's delete this one. And then hit fade and then the shoot sound. So really quickly, let's look for the shotgun sound. I guess this one. That's loud though. Sorry guys. That must be pretty loud for you guys. So now we get the shooting sound. Looks pretty fresh. Let's increase the sound. So let's make it 5. And we'll also make it echo, so it shoots, it makes it really like echoing, so it shoots multiple times. So echo, and we'll make it really small, 0.1 second delay. So it's gonna make it like, oh actually not, that's not fast enough. 0.01, that's the fastest. Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah, that makes it sound like an actual gun. And then we'll make a pitch shift really quick because it doesn't sound good. We'll make it darker. Alright, yeah, this doesn't sound good, but it's okay. That's our shooting sound. Then we have our shotgun. Oh, that's just the same sound. And then we need our reload, hit fade. We have a reload. Then we need our hit fade. So our hit fade sound. And this is just going to be a flesh wound. So flesh. I guess we'll search up flesh. No, actually, we'll call this hit. That sounds devastating. Okay, this is the one I always use from this guy. Props to him, man. Props to him for a great sound. So this is the flesh sound. So it actually sounds like you got hit by the bullet. So that's actually really cool. So that's our hit fade. And now we actually have to connect our sounds inside of our server side because we want the sounds to play to other players. If it was local side, then no one else is going to hear it. So we want to make it server side so other players can hear the sounds. And so now we have to get our sounds. So sounds, then we do local equips. Well, actually, I'll do S equip so it's more specific that you know this is a sound. So S means sound. And then we just do handle dot equip, then local S unequip, local S unequip equals handle dot unequip, then local shoot S shoot equals handle dot shoot, local S hit fade equals handle dot hit fade, and then local reload S reload. Okay, because we already have one that's named the same variable because we named this one right here reload, so we have to change the name. So S reload equals handle dot reload. Okay, so now we identified all of our sounds. Now we actually have to call them. So on equip, we just do S equip and then play. So that makes our equip sound play. Now we have to actually make it so we unequip and then the unequip sound plays. So on unequip, and then on unequip we do tool dot unequipped equals connect on unequipped, and then we do S unequip play, just like that. Then we need S shoot, so our shooting sound, we want the shooting sound to play. S shoot equals play. And actually I want to make it louder. I don't really like the sound, man. It doesn't sound good for the shoot, but I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. It sounds pretty good, pretty good. And then we need the hit fade, and then the reload. So let's just add the reload right here. So right here we have the reloading, and so we want to make it so it pump actions each time. Okay, so we want it to run so it's gonna happen 4 times. So 4 times. So what we do is we do for I equals 1, and then we do the amount. So no, not the amount, the magazine. So the size of the magazine. Do wait reload, and then we divide this by the magazine, because we want to make sure that it's incremented perfectly by the time. Okay, and then we just do reload, s reload, play. So this is going to make it so it plays 4 times, and it waits our perfect reload time, which is 4 seconds. So 4 divided by our magazine would be 1 second. So this would be 1, because 4 divided by 4 would be 1. And so this is going to run 4 times. So that's going to be 4 seconds in total. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that's going to make it so it makes the sound 4 times. Yeah, that sounds great. And yeah, I think that's it. And also our hit fade. We also need our hit fade. Right over here, we're gonna get our hit fade and clone it to the character. So hit fade is kind of interesting. We're gonna use the breeze service to make our hit fade play and disappear. So we do local new hit fade, okay? Then we do s hit fade, and then clone it, okay? So we clone the hit fade. Then we do new hit fade dot parent equals the enemy humanoid. So the enemy humanoid dot root part. Okay, so that just gets the humanoid's root part from the enemy humanoid. Okay, so that parents it, and then we have to use the breeze service so it destroys it. So debris game.debris add item. Okay, then we do new hit fade because we want to remove it. Okay, and then the amount of time, we'll say we'll make the hit fade, since it's short, we'll just get the time limit. So we'll get hit fade dot time length. Okay, so it gets the perfect time, and then we'll just plus it by 0.5 just to make sure. Okay, so we get the time length, which is this, and then we add it by 0.5 just to make sure that it's not lagging and all that. Okay, so that makes it so this is going to remove the sound once we place it. And now we have to actually play the sound once it's inside of the new character. So we do new hit fade play, and then automatically this is going to remove it from the player after it plays the sound. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool. That's our hit fade. I want to make it louder. Ooh, yo, that sounds devastating. So hit fade, on touch sound. That's basically what it is. That's our on touch sound. On enemy touch. And then take damage. That's basically our take damage right there. And then this one, we'll add a note here. Freeze bullet on floor. Okay, freeze bullet on floor. So now we added all of our sounds. We made the pump action sound run 4 times. Now let's run the game. So we have our shotgun, and now we shoot. Ooh. So it sounds, the shooting is not a good sound, but everything else works. And then it reloads, it makes the pump action sound play 4 times. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad. And then it reloads 4 bullets. Actually, maybe that's the wrong reloading sound, but it's okay. So the sound plays, reloading plays, unequip and equip plays. And yeah, I think that's, oh, and we forgot to remove our icon when we unequip the gun. Okay, that's something important. So we have to make it so we remove the icon on unequip. So we go on the local side, and simply we just have to make it so on unequip we do my mouse equals nil. Okay, we just need to remove this mouse because that's the incorrect way of doing it. So we just remove that mouse right there, and so this is gonna error. But little did I know is that we actually have an argument that passes through unequip, and I didn't. I kind of forgot about that. That just swept my mind. So unequip, then we set mouse to mouse, to my mouse, and also we need to make this my mouse instead of mouse. And also one more thing, we should also just check if it's my mouse, just to make sure that it's a valid thing. So if my mouse, then run this. So if my mouse, then run these variables. We just have to remove the reloading sound when we unequip our gun. So we have our reloading sound, S reload, and we just have to detect when we unequip. So what is the best way to do this? I guess we could just make a variable. Okay, we'll make a new variable. We'll call this local removed gun. Okay, we'll make this removed gun, and then we'll set that to false. So local removed gun equals false. And so over here we're gonna do we'll set it to removed gun equals false for unequip, and then removed gun equals true. Okay, so removed gun equals false, and so this is just to make it so the reload sound is not going to be played when we unequip our tool. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of steps, man. So if removed gun, then run this. If not removed gun, then this. Okay, and so now we're gonna make our GUI, our reloading GUI. Let's just get a screen GUI. Let's get a frame. Okay, and we'll make the size, we'll keep it the same. The position, pretty much I make the anchor point. So the anchor point makes it so it's centered. That's really cool. So it's in the center. Now we make the position in the center of the screen to start off. So we do 0.5 and then 0.5. So that makes it right in the center of the screen. Really nice. And let's just put it in the corner. So we wanted to put it in the player's corner. So 0.85 and then 0.75. Okay, that seems like a good spot to put the icon of reloading. And let's just reduce the size a bit. Seems like it's a bit too big. So 100 by 50. Okay, just like that. I think that's a good size. It might be a bit too small, but it's okay. And then we'll call this this thing called frame. It's already called frame. I was gonna think of calling it frame, but it's already called frame. We'll call this outline. Okay, outline. And we'll call this right here reloading, I guess amount GUI, or bullets GUI. Okay, I want to think of a good name for this. I guess we'll call this bullets GUI. So this is going to indicate the amount of bullets. Let's insert a text button to actually indicate the amount. Okay, so this is going to be 100, and actually let's make this 50, so it's halfway. We'll make the anchor point 0.5, so we not 0.4, 0.5, and then make the position 0.5. Well, actually no, 0.25, so we know it's right there, and then 0.5, so it's at the bottom. And so we'll make the transparency for the background 0. We'll make the outlines color, background color, we'll make this like orange. Then the outline, we'll make the border pixels nothing. So the border, there's no border pixels. Yeah, it doesn't look like the best UI, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. And then we'll call this one. Let's just make it 0 for now. That's really small. Let's make it text scaled. Okay, this is gonna be a really a really bad GUI, but it's a bit difficult to make the other one, but it's okay. We'll just make it like this, and we'll call this one amount. Well, we already chose amount in our script, so we have to think more creative. Let's call this current. Okay, current. That seems like a great name. Then we'll call the other one max. Okay, max, and this is gonna be 0.75, so it's on the opposite end. And so we have our max, we have our current. Now we need like a dash line, so we'll clone this again, and we'll just call this one dash, just to make sure it's a dash line. We'll make it a dash line, just like that, and we'll put this directly in the center. There you go. So there's our GUI, just like that. And it doesn't look centered. I don't know why. It should be centered. Everything is centered, but it's just the letters. We could change the font so it actually looks centered. Patrick's hand looks pretty good. Yeah, Patrick's hand looks centered. So I'll use Patrick's hand. So we have our outline, we have our bullets GUI. And I think we have everything we need. So let's put our new GUI inside of our gun on the server side, okay? Because that's how we're going to give it to the player. So we have to get our bullets GUI. So we'll, right over here, we'll identify it right at the top. So we'll get local bullets GUI equals script, wait for child, bullets GUI. And actually, I want to put it at the right next to the icon, so it looks more neat. So bullets GUI icon. So we have our bullets GUI, and what we do here is on equip, we want to give the GUI to the player. So how we do this is we just do new GUI. That's gonna be our name, and we'll set new GUI to nil, so it doesn't error. So where is it? We'll put new GUI right here. New GUI, and then we'll do new GUI equals bullets GUI, and then cloning. Okay, so we're making a new GUI, and then we just have to identify what everything is. We'll make the current. We have to get the current. The current is this, so we just do current equals bullets GUI dot outline, because we know that we named it outline dot current. Okay, so we got the current, and we have to make current set to this. So current. So that's our current amount for our GUI. So we tell our GUI the current amount of bullets we have, and then we do the max. So the max is really simple. We just set it directly to it. So we just do bullets dot GUI dot outline dot max dot text equals total. Wait, what's our total? How do we get our total? Our magazine. So we get magazine. So that's gonna be our maximum, our magazine count. And then we do we get our current. And so right over here on unequip, we just do new GUI destroy. Okay, so once we unequip the tool, we destroy our new GUI. So we have no use of it. And we're just going to create a new one every time we equip it. And so this is going to be create new GUI reload, well, bullet amount. So create new bullet amount GUI. I guess that's a better name, bullet amount GUI. and then we get the bullets GUI. And now we have to just update the current, because we don't know what the current is gonna be until we shoot our gun. So when we shoot our gun, we want to set the current to the new value. So we do, this is gonna be a bit interesting to look at. So current.text equals toString. Okay, so we get the count. Okay, so we do count minus amount. Okay, actually no, the opposite. So we do amount minus count. Okay, and actually we also want to make this inside of our unequip as well. So we do current.text equals toString amount minus current. So that's just going to do a couple calculations. So we get our total. Well, no, oh no, this is not supposed to be amount. This is supposed to be magazine. So magazine minus count. Okay, so my bad, magazine minus count. Okay, then right above it we'll do magazine minus count. So current.text equals toString magazine minus count. And then once we get to 0, we want to reload our gun. So it looks like the number is going to count back up. So how we do that, let's just copy this again. And let's go to our reloading function, reload or fire rate. So right here we have our reload. And so we just do current.text. Then we just, so it's at 0 right now, so we have to make it count up. So how we do that is we do I. So we just make this I. Okay, so toString I, or we could just set it directly to I. So current.text equals I, because I is going to be counting up until it gets to 4. Alright, and actually I did an error right here. It says bullets GUI. We actually have to change this to new GUI, because bullets GUI is the original and we don't want to change the original one. And also we have to parent it to the player's GUI. So we just do new GUI.parent equals myPlayer.player GUI. Okay, so that's really important. So it puts it in the player's screen. Okay, and on the local side, I also forgot to add the attack animation. So the attack animation adds this little like recoil effect, so it's pretty cool, and yeah, just add that in right there. And now we're pretty much done, guys. Let's run the game and test this out. Okay, any second now. Alright, so we load it in, and we have our gun. Let's shoot it, and it's pretty cool, man, pretty cool. And it reloads one bullet a second. You can shoot it 0.5 seconds, and that's pretty cool, man, that's pretty cool. And let's actually add a couple of dummies just to test out that damage. We'll build a rig, and we'll duplicate this. So how do I duplicate this? Alright, I kind of forgot. Oh, CTRL-D. There you go. Okay, so we'll add 3 dummies, and let's test this out with the 3 dummies. So gotta do this, and there you go, bro. Okay, papa. Oh, we missed that one. Wait, I don't talk about that, man. I missed that. That's okay. I should have 360 that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was fun making it. Definitely, like, I think it's like a 2-hour long video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And make sure you guys like and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys next time.